Let's take our seats and we're going to move on to our next fireside chat. I think our speakers are ready. So our next fireside chat is entitled Affirmations Are a Must, Cultivating a Positive Mindset in Youngsters. A very interesting topic indeed. So we are going to welcome up to the stage Annie Chan, founder and principal trainer from Red Box Events, and Brigadier Sushil Vasin, military-inspired leadership and team-building expert, SB Consultancy. Let's put our hands together as we welcome them up onto the stage.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Do you think that is good? Good morning must be good. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good. Better than before. The whisper was louder. Okay, great. So today we are here, and thank you for joining us in a fireside chat on a subject that is very, very important in transforming lives. So the topic is Affirmations Are a Must, Cultivating Positive Mindset in Youngsters. I am Sushil, and with me is Annie, and we are going to take you through what are affirmations, and particularly we are going to be focused on how can we encourage, how can we as elders encourage youngsters and create an environment where they learn the advantages and use affirmations to transform their lives. So before we dive into anything else, can I ask you all for a favor? Yeah. Will you join me in an affirmation? Thank you so much. I love the response. Your energy generates energy in us. So thank you so much. So please repeat with me. I am motivated, focused to make today's session a great learning. Thank you. That's a collective affirmation. The moment you say this, and particularly when you repeat it, it actually makes you change your belief system. And therefore, let's now, you set an intention that we will enjoy this session, we will get the best out of it. Now your minds get a task. Your subconscious mind gets a task that I am to get the best out of this session, right? So now this is what basically affirmations are, and very, very simply put, they are self-motivating, accepting statements which when repeated change the direction of the neurons and make us believe what we want to believe, right? So thank you very much for your participation. Annie, let's have you talk about your perception and your perspective of affirmations.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Annie, and I came all the way from Singapore. Before that, I think I would like to thank Education 2.0 for this opportunity to be here and also to be receiving an award for excellence in education. As I shared in one of my interviews, that when I embarked on this journey to be an educator, receiving an award was never on the list. Right? I embarked on this journey was because I wanted to ensure the events industry, which is the industry that I'm from, have better quality people, have better quality professionals, and therefore I went into this area. All right, so, but then again, this award, in a way, affirms my belief that the training that I'm doing is contributing towards the industry itself. So interestingly, all right, when, let me get your name right, Sushil. Okay, interestingly, when Sushil and myself were kind of like discussing and going through the topic itself, I would say I had a little issue, okay? Because Sushil was explaining to me the definition of affirmations and all that, which is great, all right, which got me learning about something. But for me personally, I see affirmation in two ways. What we did earlier on, the little exercise, was definitely an affirmation that is from internal, where we affirm and we say this is what we're going to do. We want to make sure that we get the right message. We put ourselves in the position to embrace learning and all that. However, I see affirmation from the other perspective as well. That affirmation sometimes, maybe the word shouldn't be affirmation, maybe it's some other words like motivation, reinforcement, or anything. But I see that sometimes such words can be a way of affirmation to that person. All right, like for example, receiving this award, to me, all right, the person who is receiving it, I see that as an affirmation from the industry that I must have done something right. Right? I didn't wake up every morning to say, okay, I want to get an award, I want to get an award, I want to get an award. I didn't, all right? And yet, it was a surprise that I was approached and to say that I will be given this award. So I see affirmation as a two-way thing. Because if the youth is really down at the rock bottom, it's not possible to tell him or her to start that self-affirmation because there's no way they can probably find it within them. So that affirmation might have to come from somebody that is either the teacher or even a parent or even a senior that he or she looks up to with a very simple thing that, hey, you are worthy, hey, you can do it. And hopefully that will trigger that internal affirmation that the youth can make use of.
I have absolutely no disagreement with this, and I feel that's perfectly fine. Only sometimes the thing is packaged differently, and all that I felt was that affirmation, as per definition, is a self-talk. It is a talk which you do to overcome and fight your self-doubt. And when you do that and keep repeating it, the belief system starts changing. Now that is affirmation. And whenever somebody motivates you and gets you into that pattern, that is called positive reinforcement. So call it whatever you want, but I agree with Annie that first there is a requirement of somebody to convey this message to the child that you can make use of this tool, which is very good, right? So that is all what we were probably struggling with. But the crux of the matter remains, yes, that it is two ways. You get motivated by people, use affirmations. When somebody tells you something and you internalize it and say, that works for me, or that is good. I got this award. So that is a positive reinforcement. The universe accepted that you are a good educator. And now it is time for me to say, yes, I am a good educator. And that belief system that now you will work with more confidence, you will work with more authenticity and authority because you believe that, yes, I am a good educator. So that was the difference part. Notwithstanding that, now let's go forward and say, if you can give me an example or a story or an incident which shows how this works. Anything of your life, anything that you have experienced which would probably highlight this part.
Okay, I come from a very traditional Asian family. My dad is actually a retired educator, right? He teaches in the government schools and all that. So you would think that as an educator, of having a father who is an educator, he will know everything about affirmation, he'll know everything about reinforcement, but unfortunately, he wasn't really that kind of a person. I guess maybe when he was growing up, he never really quite get any affirmation, or they don't believe in that, right? Because as far as I can remember, my dad is the kind of dad that you study, that is your responsibility to do well, because it is your life, all right? So we grew up with that kind of mindset that whatever we do, it is our responsibility. There will never have any affirmation. Maybe we self-affirmate while we were growing up, right? Since we didn't get it from our dad. Okay, so much as we would love to have some sort of encouragement along the way, but it didn't come through at all. So I told myself, well, I guess my dad is traditional. Maybe he doesn't have books, he doesn't read books to know that there is certain need to encourage his children. But I would say that my siblings and myself, we turned out pretty decent, all right, regardless of whether the affirmation or the reinforcement that was given by my dad. So I was always thinking that he is not capable, all right, until when I was much older, not a youth, okay, I passed the age of youth then, when I was going through when I was ending my marriage. Okay, I finally had to tell him, because, after all, he's my dad, right? I was really expecting a lashing from him, that how could I shame the family by going through the whole process of a divorce and so on and so forth. But interestingly, when I talked to him and I spoke to him, and I think that was probably the one and only time that he used this statement with me, and that was, you are worth it. Right? If your current partner doesn't know how to appreciate you, just remember, this is your home. You're always welcome to come back, or you can always come back, and my daughter would deserve a better man. So it may not sound as an affirmation then, but at that point when I was struggling with dealing with so many things that was going on in my life, to the extent that I was spiraling down, I think it was this statement that he gave to me that kept me going. That statement that kept me going, that I tell myself each time that thought of just ending everything, the thought of stopping everything, and the message, I was reminded this, that I'm worth it. All right, so it might be much later in my life, but I think my little message is also, I think it's not about whether and how much was told to you, but I think it's that moment that statement was given to you, and you are able to internalize it and tell yourself that you are worth it. So never underestimate when a statement as educator that we give to our youth or our students, never underestimate that. You don't know, it might not impact them then, but you don't know whether they could have taken it with them throughout their entire life, and every time they face an issue, they remember that, hey, my teacher said this, all right, and they are constantly reminded that they are good enough for certain things. So I think it's like, we watch comedy, it's that moment, sometimes when the comedians didn't get it right, nobody laughs, all right? I think it's that moment that you need to put that message through at the right time, the message will be received.
Absolutely, that was a brilliant story. And I particularly appreciate and like this point about the correct timing. It's very important. If you get that right message at the right time and it strikes that chord in your heart, that is when transformation happens. Right. So thank you very much, Annie. Now I would like to turn back to the audience and ask if any one of you use affirmations. Anyone? Please raise your hands if you use affirmations. Yeah. Okay, so we got two hands up. Can we start with the one who raised the hand first there in the blue? Yeah?
Yeah, yourself.
Yeah. Can you please tell us something about affirmations? How do you use them and how do they work for you?
Actually, I have a funny story about affirmations. In the stage when I was moving from my employment period to my own business, I used to use the affirmations of money and wealth each morning for like consecutive 3 months. I know that not the affirmations itself, it will bring me from here to here, but I know that it helped very well. Suddenly, it's not suddenly, it's after hard work and dedication and a lot of research, but I do believe that these affirmations help to reprogram my mind of my belief in myself, of my ability to do anything, of the wealth, of the abundance in life. That working with me turned me to believe in affirmations, and I turned to coach my people, my kids, my clients, to do the affirmations for whatever they want to achieve. But yeah, I use affirmations and it have a very huge impact on me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. And you had something to say, yes. Just tell me, how do you use your affirmations and how do they work for you?
For me, affirmation is something like it's a divine connection. And I started using affirmations for, as she said, like wealth, prosperity, and career growth. And I think it clicked in a way. I think for that reason, I'm here today. In a way, I got connected. I had divine blessings so that I'm here today. So that daily I affirm that I should prosper in my career, growth, and prosperity. It clicked.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Now, I would like to come.
There's one more.
One more?
Yep.
Okay.
Most of you were here when I told my story of recovery, and affirmation is really what saved me. I had to really reprogram the subconscious mind, and that's the power of affirmation, is that particularly first thing in the morning and before you go to bed, it's repeating phrases that you may not necessarily agree with in that moment, but you have to retrain and reprogram your subconscious mind to start believing them. So affirmation is extremely powerful, and it took me minimum of 30 days to start to see the result. And I think that it's something that we really need to teach children, that if you say it, even while you don't believe it, you have to keep saying it. And change over time is really what you're after, not something that's immediate. So it's powerful, but it's required consistency, for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. So I want to share a very practical example with you and show you how I have been doing it with my students and found some very profound results. So this is the power of making, or the process of making an affirmation a part of your daily routine, because you need to repeat it, so there should be a system behind it so that your wiring becomes easier. So one of these ways is called a mirror exercise. For details, you can Google it, mirror exercise. What it means is that you stand in front of the mirror, and the best is to do it when you are brushing your teeth, because you brush your teeth every day. And for whatever reasons, I don't know, because if I have to shave, I need a mirror, or if you have to put on your lipstick or something, you may need a mirror, but I don't know why we need a mirror to brush our teeth. Okay, but we do it. So when you're brushing your teeth, without wasting any time, if you look into the eyes in your reflection and focus on your eyes, and your eyes are a gateway to your soul, and if you say everything positive about yourself and say, I am God's best creation, I am God's gift to humanity, I am having a great time, I am having a wonderful day today, and today is going to be the best day of my life so far, and etc., etc. Whatever good things you want to say them. Do it on a daily basis when you are brushing your teeth. You are not going to spend any extra time, because while you are brushing, you can say this, and it is so powerful. Now, to make it a very practical way, and there are 3 things that we must keep in mind. Firstly, it has to be positive. You have to make your statement very positive. Instead of saying, I am not lazy. Now that could be an affirmation, but it is better to say, I am energetic and positive. Okay, or I am energetic, whatever way, you can add 1 or 2 more words to it, right? So that is the first part, keep it positive. The second is keep it in present. You don't say I will be, you say I am. Now this I struggled with, because I thought it was fake. If I am standing in my washroom and I see my very odd sized body and I say I am slim and smart, I don't believe it, because what I'm saying is fake. And they say fake it till you make it. I realized it much later that even if what you're saying is not what your heart agrees with, say it. Over a period of time, it takes shape. And the third part is that you must make it a daily routine, as I said, just said, that there should be a way of making it go forward. So I would now turn to Annie and say, what are your ways, your strategies to make affirmations work with your students, with your teachers?
Actually, very interestingly, what Sushil was saying about like looking yourself through the mirror, when you brush your teeth, when you shave, or for ladies, you put on our makeup. All right. During that period of time that I was struggling with my divorce and my separation, you will be surprised that we can draw our makeup without looking into the mirror. All right. So I knew I did that, right? I was only looking at my eyebrow. I was not looking into my eyes. All right, because at that moment, I was having this down, but there's this thought in my head, I was like, I'm not worth it. But I have to still put on my makeup because I need to go out and work. All right, so it became a process of just putting on the makeup. Okay, it wasn't like, I have to look good. It was only until, I think, like say, my conversation with my dad and all that, and I literally forced myself to look into my own eyes when I do my makeup. And although I was saying that my dad didn't quite affirm us or encourage us when we were growing up, as a middle child, I don't know whether it applies to all middle child, all right, as a middle child, I sometimes have to struggle to be better than my older brother or to not pale comparison to my younger sister. So I guess at the back of my mind, there is that little voice that pushes me to say, Annie, it doesn't matter either you're middle child, but you can still do what you can. All right, so with that, I always tell my students that we all have that ability in us. It's just that maybe at that point you are not aware of. It could be you have been so bitten that you just believe that you are not good enough. All right, so especially when I was training in the Polytechnic, where most of them are like 17 to 19, they are at that impressionable age that anything you say as an educator, they believe. All right, they believe lock, stock, and barrel. And I still remember this particular incident. I was sharing with my student why my marriage breakdown was because when there was red flag during the preparation, instead of calling it off, I proceeded with it. All right, and I was sharing with them, say that, hey, for girls, if you're going to get married, please remember that you must make sure that you are happy. Well, you want your partner to be happy, you cannot forget that you must be happy. So years later, one of my students came to me, at first told me she was getting married. A few months before her marriage, she came to me and said, Miss Chan, I've called off my wedding. I'm like, okay, what happened? And then her statement to me then was, oh, because I remember what you told me. I'm like, what? What did I just say? All right. And she said, no, it's got nothing to do with you, but I remember your statement. You must be happy. All right, while I strive to make my partner to be happy, I cannot forget myself. She said, that was a statement that every day I wake up, I tell myself, whatever I do, I must be happy. So it didn't occur to me then that statement or that story I shared would have an impact. Right? So to me, is my strategy would be whatever I tell my student, I may not see that as an affirmation or a reinforcement, but I choose to be careful when I share certain things with them, because I don't want whatever I share to end up being a negative impact on them. And I hope that they could pick up whatever nuances that make sense to them. I may say 10 things, but even if they just pick up one and they use that as their own affirmation for the rest of your life, I think I have done my part as an educator towards them.
Thank you so much. Now we come to almost the close, and I would like to focus on the point of self-belief. Now we all are born with our belief systems, and these beliefs start they start when you're in the womb of your mother, and the moment you come out and you are in the world, you start having statements from your mother, mother's the first one, where when God sends you to the planet, you have got a bucket full of self-esteem, okay? And you're born beautiful, you're born with the idea that I am great. And the first person, unfortunately, unintentionally, who tells you that you're not so great is your mother. You did this wrong, why did you do this? Okay? Now, if a little baby has done susu on the carpet, and the mother comes running in, what have you done? My 10,000 rupees $10,000 carpet. He doesn't understand what is a carpet, what are dollars, but he understands that something has gone wrong. Okay? So the self-belief is something is not good in me, that I get a scolding. When you grow up, when you go to school, the teachers also then add to that you're not good in this, you're not good in that. And therefore, when a child starts believing, I'm not good, that is the time affirmations come into place, where you can transit and help students transition from that negative self-belief or a self-doubt, and tell this child that you are awesome. All that you need to do is this, and then encourage them. And like what Annie said, you have to first motivate them. You have to make them realize that what they are thinking is not really true. And it comes with beautiful examples when somebody says, I can't do this. So who said you can't do it? I'll give you a small example. I was doing this activity with children, and there was one girl who refused to climb up a rope. And you have to climb up a rope, and then there were two ropes, parallel ropes, they're called commando crossing, where your feet are on the lower rope and your hands hold the upper rope. And then you have to move sideways. So she said, I can't do it. I said, who said you can't do it? Sir, I know I can't do it. I said, I know that you can do it. So she says, I can't. I said, you can. She said, I can't. I kept raising my voice, and then I said, okay, you said yesterday that you are my friend. Are you? She said, yes. Will you do what I tell you? She said, it depends. I said, what? As a friend, you think I'm going to tell you something that you shouldn't be doing? Then she smiled. I took her to a nearby tree. I said, stand in front of the tree and say, I can do it, count 20 times. She said that, and then I said, would you do it now? She said, I'll try. I told my staff, quickly buckle her up. She went up. She did the entire thing. When she came back, I used to do an exercise. I said, right hand up, on your shoulder, pat yourself, and say, well done, and take your name. So she did that. Then I said, once again, right hand up, on your right cheek, give yourself a slap. She said, why? Give yourself a slap. So she did this. I said, no, strong enough. And she did this when the sound came. And I said, now say, I'm sorry, whatever name was, I didn't trust you. You could do it. I did nothing. You said I can't do it, and now you have done it. I didn't give you any steroids. I didn't give you any injection. How have you done it now? So that is the way you need to motivate children, tell them that they are good, and then help them transition from that I can't to I can. And this happens with guidance and with making a child get convinced that they are better than what they think they are. Thank you.
You know, just now when you mentioned about what you told your student, like to go to the tree and say, I can do it and all that, right? I don't know whether the audience pick up that one small word that the child said after 20 statement. Anybody pick up what the child said? Okay, for those who have learned neuro-linguistic programming, which is NLP, will know that the word try is a very hypnotic word. All right, so which I've been using it on my students. If let's say they say, no, Miss Chang, I cannot. All right, instead of telling them that, no, you can, I will always tell them, just try. All right, for example, like they don't want to eat something. I will say, just try, just take the teeny little bit, just try. I say, if you don't like it, you can always spit it out. All right, I say, just give yourself a chance to try. You tried it, you don't like it, at least you have tried.
Somehow, I have a very different perspective. In my workshops and all, I tell people never use the word try. I'll tell you why. The moment you say, I will try, your subconscious mind is getting a command that you're supposed to try. So I actually do an exercise with my students and I say, please try and lift this. Please try and lift this. I didn't say lift it. I said try lift it. You have lifted it. So I tell them there's nothing called try. Either you do it or you don't. So instead of saying I'll try, say I'll do it. You tell your child that I want to be, that you must get 80% marks. And the child says, yes, I will get them. Or, I'm sorry. The child says, yes, mommy, I'll try. When the report card comes, he gets 70. So what happened? I tried. Arey, you tried, you didn't get it. So there are 3 words that I tell people, just do it. And the moment you get into that subconscious mind to say, yes, I can do it, that is the magical moment. So that is my perspective on try. I say never use try. I've got some videos on it. And they've been very well received. People have agreed that the word try is actually, to me, a pre-receipted excuse for failure. If I fail, I'll say I tried. Anyway, so now we have only 2 minutes left, and I would like to throw open the questions to the audience. Anything that you have, please come forward and let's participate.
The gentleman earlier on, what makes you say that that word was the try word?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday I raised the question, and then if you are asking me to raise the question, I'm raising again. So, affirmations. Most of the time what I have seen, because I work in human capability building for the last 22 years, they know it is supposed to be, done, but they don't know how to do it, when to do it. So the question to, both of you, if I have to practice affirmation, what is the right way of doing it, number one, and when I should practice it, okay? So that, I know this is the right process of doing it. I hope you're getting my question. That's the question.
First question, part of the question is clear, that what is the process?
Yeah.
And the second part of it was?
Second part of it, okay, in the entire day, if I have to, do some positive affirmations, what is the right time I should do it?
Right time.
Yes, morning, evening, afternoon, time duration, other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So time doesn't really matter,
Okay.
but mornings are very good. for the reason that firstly you are fresh. So I've read a lot about what Tony Robbins and what Robin Sharma say, that it sets the motion for your life, for your day. And Tony Robbins says something that is a time to prime your day, prime your energy.
Okay.
So he calls it the process of priming. The second part is the process which I had just said, the three things that you have to keep in mind. One, that you have to keep it positive. Second is that it is to be in present tense. You don't say I will, but you say I am. And the third one is that you make it a part of your routine. So whatever time you decide, like I said in the morning, if you do it in the morning, first thing when you get up, whether you do it when you are lying in the bed or you do it in front of the mirror. Mirror, as Google will tell you, if you see mirror exercise, n number of advantages of doing it in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Because then you're seeing yourself and your belief system internally changes. When you start, and results show up after about a month. So don't say this today and expect, like you can't go to the gym today and expect a lot of muscles tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that is what I could answer your question with.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I guess for me it's a little bit different. Yes, although everybody would tell you that affirmation you should do it in the morning, right? Because you're fresh and all that. But I guess for me, I feel that there's no exact time. Well, yes, in the morning I can wake up, when I look at myself in the mirror, I can say, hey, you look good, you're going to crush today. Right? I could do that in the morning. But that's not saying that if I was making my way here, when I was coming up with the lift and there was a mirror, that's not stopping me or saying, hey, you still look good and you're going to do what you have to do. All right, so for me personally, I don't specifically see that there's a particular time of the day that I should do it. And I guess the process will be I guess I'm a more spontaneous person. If I see myself in the mirror then and I know there's something I need to get done, what is that statement that is going to work for me? It will come across as that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Allen, right? Did I get it right?
Yeah. I must be getting known, unfortunately. The conversation between try and do was interesting because you were both talking positivity, but you were talking about it from a different level. Positivity in my world anyway is that you will at least give it your best try because you're not being negative about it. Negative is, I will not try, I will not do anything. But if you can move a person from saying, no, I'm not going to give it a go, to at least say, I will try to do my best in my world, if they get 70% instead of 80%, and they're used to getting 50%, that's positivity because they've moved from 50 to 70. If you say you will do it and they get 70 instead of 80, there are a number of people around the world that have been bullied because of the fact that they didn't get 80. Why didn't I get 80? Oh, I failed because I'd said 80. Whereas if they'd have said, try the best that you can and prove that you've done the best, not just give it words and say, I will try, and then end up doing nothing, but try and be positive about doing it, and they lift from 50 to 70, there's more that they can do because they have set their mindset in place to do better than they were doing, but maybe not to the fullest at that point, but they have embarked on a life pathway that includes positivity, and it shows that occasionally they won't get there. But if they keep moving forward, they are achieving and building on that achievement. If they've gone from 50 to 70% because they gave it a damn good try, next time if they slacken off and they drop back down to 60, they go, okay, yes, you told me I need to do an hour's homework every night, and I'm not doing that now, and I can see that I'm the cause that I dropped it down because I didn't try as much as I did last semester or last year. Or if I'm playing football, I didn't go training because I thought I was going to do everything. And we can name a lot of people around the world that have said that they're up here and they're, I can use other words but I won't, that they're the best of the best. And the best have one very small step, often that they take. And it's usually about that high, because they fall from greatness down, because they haven't kept trying to do their best. And role models tend to be those that people can look at and go, they gave it a try. And if you are a person who maybe is not the best scholar, maybe they're not the best socialiser, but if they're encouraged to give it a try, in terms of themselves, they are achieving. But they may not have, you will do this, because if it's a will and they don't get there, there's an awfully big step down that they often take in themselves. So you need to encourage the positive mindset to at least give it a try. And with children, that mindset is, you will try your veggies. You will try to eat this food. If you don't like it, that's fine, because maybe in a year or two's time, you may change your mind and eat that later. But I want you to at least try it now. Try this health and wellness thing. Try yoga and all that. Try it, because if you do, you will set it up maybe in 2-3 years' time. I tried that and it wasn't actually that bad. I'd like to try it again. Because you've set that positive mindset where it can still be increased later. And but that positive needs to be from try through to positive do. But if you go to the do, you've got nowhere else to go. You can suffer a lot of defeat mentally if you've gone and said, you will do it, and they haven't achieved that. But if you can encourage people to physically try and to physically try their hardest to do it, and you give them affirmation for at least giving it a go and trying it, and encouraging them to keep trying and keep giving it a go, you've built a life pathway that they can achieve, and they will find some potholes and some roadblocks in their path, but they continue to keep trying to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good perspective. I totally agree with this, except that I have a different perspective. I do it differently, and I've done it for 20 years. I found my results, and maybe I'm a little more ambitious that I want things to happen, and they happen. The second part is I never use that word will. You know, when you said you will do it, that we never say. We just encourage them to do it. And the message they get is, I will do it. It's not about I can do it. I will do it. Okay, I will do it. So the result is a little more clear, and they get it. Anyway, absolutely fine. Thank you very much. I think we have already done overtime. Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much for being a wonderful audience.
Yes, thank you very much.
It shows, today's audience shows me less is more. Lesser number of people, but more participation, more involvement. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you everyone. We'll still be around. You can always just connect with each other, yeah?